Is a good dog, right? Love that when they'll come home and take a little nap. But with winter and holiday travel and big events like the World Series, fur baby owners need to be educated on the difference between doggy daycares.
Yeah, they need to feel like they're participating. They're doing something. This morning we have Mike Deeth from Kiss Dog Training here with a look for us this morning. And sometimes your pets just, well, you need a break from your pets, right?
Well, yeah, doggy daycare is one of those things of, I tell people there's usually 3 really good reasons for doggy daycare. Number one, just like a mommy's day out or a daddy's day out, sometimes if you have a young dog or a puppy in that wonderful developmental stage that's a little crazy, a day at doggy daycare is wonderful. Plus, when they come home, they're tired and they sleep, so you're getting kind of,
the double whammy.
You're getting the double whammy. The other thing is that you have to keep in mind that you want your dogs to learn good social skills. And I always joke with people that, I took Spanish in college, I took it in high school, I did really well. At one point I could even dream in Spanish, and wow. I can now barely conjugate an AR verb because this many years later I've never used it. So it's one of those that if you don't practice, you learn the socialization skills you need. And it doesn't count to live with a dog. I mean, the dog that you live with at home is one thing, but when you meet strange dogs, they need to be able to act socially. And then the last thing is there's 2 myths about exercise. One is that the backyard is exercise. It's really not. It's really a frustration box. Oh. So, it's like getting your first office. You go to Office Depot, you buy your little desk pad, your pencil cup, you're hanging diplomas, you're so excited. It takes you about 3 or 4 months, and you're doing anything you can to get out of that office. Mm-hmm. So, at the very beginning, the backyard's great, but then the dog's seen, tasted, touched, smelled everything in the backyard, and they start digging and barking and jumping and chewing and doing all these things in the backyard. Well, your mom told you when you were a kid that, idle hands were the devil's playtoy.
There you go.
So,
what do we look for when checking out doggy daycares?
The first thing I always tell everybody, you want to find a place that will let you tour on the spot. So if you walk in and say, hey, I'm interested in having my dog here, can I go on a tour? They should say, absolutely, come on back, let's take a look. If you walk in the front door and they say, hey, can you come back at 3 o'clock and we'll give you a tour? That's probably a sign that something
things might not be
perfect. The other thing is I like to have play groups that are separated by age, by size, and by temperament. I think sometimes if they're in doggy daycare all day long and they're just stimulated all day and play all day, I think they ought to be, you go out and you play, you come back, you calm down, you go out and play. Mm-hmm. And one of the reasons a lot of places do this kind of setup is so that you can have these play groups. I don't want to walk into a place and see 30 dogs in a concrete room. I want to see 6 like-sized, like-aged, like-temperament dogs playing. It's about 6 to 8 for about an hour, maybe 45 minutes, and then the next group comes out. And they'll rotate them 6 to 8 times a day.
All right, one quick thing we should keep in mind with winter months approaching here about getting out and walking our pets. What are the things we need to think about?
Number one, walking is not exercise. Walking is a great leadership. Hey, walk with me, not against me. But when we stop and think, they got 4 legs and we got 2, when we walk a dog on a leash, we're asking them to walk at a pace that's much slower than normal. So if you take your dog for a 20-25 minute walk, maybe once, twice a day, it would be like us stretching out before a run. So this is another one of those myths about, exercise is that, taking your dog for a walk is really not going to wear them out.
So we need to take them for a run.
You need to take them for a run. You need to bike with them. You need to, if you're walking, going like on a hiking situation where it's hours, not minutes,